Do you think this is legal?
Out of the way.
No, actually landed though.
You're not
Landed.
Move out of the way.
No, I can find private property.
In this video, we're going to be looking at the legality of that flight. We're also going to be looking at the apparent recent unmasking of DJ Audits, as well as the legality generally of people like DJ putting people's faces and privacy on show in their videos, and whether this will bring an end to auditing in this style in the UK. What the security guard does here is actually one of the things I considered putting in my how to be audited video. I decided not to because I didn't want to put anybody at risk having watched my video, because it is actually a very risky thing he does here. So let's look at this in some detail. So this video was from TikTok, and it's only just come to my light. It's obviously been posted some time, but I was quite shocked when I saw it actually. So let's look. You can see that this is a public place. Now often what is said by these auditors is that it's a public place, I can fly from it. And this is the trouble if you fly from a public place. You are likely to have members of the public walk into your space where you're trying to operate. In this case, it's exactly what happens. DJ actually states some incorrect information that he's gleaned from the air navigation order as a defence and a way to actually get the security guard to back off. And let's look at that.
A warning. Have you heard of the air navigation order?
I do a proper.
Right, it's a criminal offence to obstruct a pilot.
So what he states is that it's a criminal offence for somebody to endanger an aircraft, effectively. Now this is the Air Navigation Order 240. It does actually state that a person must not recklessly or negligently act in a manner likely to endanger an aircraft or a person in an aircraft. Now you'd think, right, okay, that's the case and you cannot endanger an aircraft. But as Graham Degg points out in his excellent blog, this doesn't apply to remote pilots or drones. Now what does apply is the Air Navigation Order Article 241, and what this states is that a person must not recklessly or negligently endanger people or property. In this respect, I believe that a remote pilot has actually endangered this uninvolved person by flying the drone so close to them. And in fact, if you see, he puts his hand out to catch the drone. Aside from the fact that the security guard pushes his hand out the way by walking into him, you could say that maybe that's an assault, but the point being is that the remote pilot is trying to land in the area where there's a member of the public. In my opinion, he was negligent with the health and safety of the member of the public in the area that he was flying. Just before I get into the unmasking that's happened and the legality of auditors and GDPR in the UK, let's look at how you'd avoid this and how I was taught to avoid this situation, having done my A2 CFC and my GVC. The whole point about flying on public land is it may all be possible, but it is dangerous potentially because people might walk up to you and they might approach you. You can mitigate this risk by obviously flying from private land. If you've got a job where you have a client, then you would get permission to fly from their land. You can then control that land. You can be behind a fence. You could put up a cordon. On public land, this is very difficult, which is why I try and avoid flying from public land. It's not as easy as people like the auditors will make it out, and I cannot believe they've not been picked up on this before by police, because police will kind of accept this, when to me this is very dangerous because of the very reason you see in this video. Another recent video was of a dog catching a drone, as in the drone was about to land on a footpath and the dog comes around a corner and pulls the drone out of the air. Again, in my opinion, that's negligent of the remote pilot. Why fly and why try to land on a footpath? I think it's crazy, but what do you think? So if you've seen the recent videos on some of the social media sites for video, you would have seen that he's apparently been unmasked. There are pictures of him, there are pictures of his business, there are contact details for his business, there are pictures of his house. People have left reviews on his regular business site. I'm not surprised at this because I think DJ Audits is probably the most hated drone pilot in the UK. He's probably more hated than the CAA. People hate him who he will go and audit or supposedly audit, and I'd say about 70% of the drone community feels that this guy isn't part of the community. He's basically using those permissions to his monetary gain, And I think a lot of us feel that this will end up resulting in more restrictions for people that try to abide by the law because of him and people like him. But what do you think? I mean, leave a comment in the description at the end. But just for a minute, let's just think if this isn't the guy that is DJ Audits. So I would suggest that we temper our response to this and this guy, because if it's not, then we've made someone's life pretty much hell just for a coincidence that's led them to be identified incorrectly. So just be careful. Remember, everybody's a person. These auditors in general have upset so many businesses, and they will state that they do not want to be filmed because the business is subject to GDPR. But they state that they're not subject to it because they're an individual. Now, this is a big problem for these auditors now, because DJ Audits has been recorded as saying he earns X amount a month. You can also find that on these social media platforms, what he earns a month. Now, it's clearly a business, and he is subject to business law because it's a business. Now, I wouldn't want to be in his shoes right now, because even though he's earning a lot of money, he's also upset a lot of businesses. As if he goes out and does this 5 days a week, he's upsetting 5 lots of legal departments. I mean, he's been and overflown Royal Mint. Now, these companies and these people have quite big legal budgets. It wouldn't take much for them to get together and sue for not handling the data correctly. Sue because people have asked to be not included in the videos, and when he includes them, they've not given their consent. Is this the end for this type of video in the UK? Well, I don't think it's the end yet. It's been so easy a little while now to make these videos and make a load of money off them. When you're hiding your face on a video, you know you shouldn't be doing it. And if a few of these companies want to actually seek damages against this person, or the Information Commissioner's Office gets interested in this case, then there could be a massive legal bill for this. There could be a massive fine. It would be a very foolish person that would disregard that. It would be a very foolish person to have that unlimited liability, because this guy is a sole trader effectively when it comes to his drone business and his YouTube business. That means if you're a sole trader, you have unlimited liability. That means your house is at risk. That means your business that you own is at risk. Everything that you own could go because of a video that you've made. Okay, he's made a lot of money out of these videos, but I suspect that won't last very long when the legal fees start to come in, the solicitor's fees, all that kind of stuff. It could immediately evaporate. So you'd be very foolish, I think, to be going around making videos like this in the future. And it's only going to take one guy like this, who's the most high profile guy, to end up in a sticky situation, and that will resonate right through that type of video, and I should suspect that they will all stop immediately. It hasn't happened yet, but I think it could well happen over the next 6 months. Watch this space. So let me know your thoughts on this. Let me know in the comments. Fight it out between you, what you think. If I've said is you agree with it or don't agree with it. And if you like that, you might like this.